Today I'm going to fix one of the last annoying problems on my Turbo 305 truck, and that's the battery location. Right now the battery sits on the passenger side. The problem with this is it is right in the way of my turbo inlet. There's really only about 2 inches of clearance right here, which keeps me from running a large filter. But that's going to end today. I'm going to take the battery from the passenger side here and go ahead and move it over to the driver's side. If you're new here and you have some questions on this truck, it's basically a turbocharged 305, did a marine intake manifold swap, and changed it out to a 411 PCM. The thing runs and drives great, and now it's time to start refining all the details. So we're going to start with relocating this battery. So I've tried to dream up every solution I could without relocating this. And so here's the shortest filter I could find with the right inlet, and even then, it is just not quite going to work out. Came really close, and I thought if I even slipped it on, I might be able to get by with this bolt in the middle of this filter, but that's just cheesy. So I think the cleanest solution is just going to be to take this battery and put it over in that spot. So I grabbed some tools to get started here. Got some cable cutters, battery terminal crimper, battery terminals, some shrink tube, and of course some wrenches. At least I hope that's all I'm going to need. Actually, I can see it right now. I already need a 5/16 or 8mm. Let's get this disconnected though. Get this thing pulled out of here. Place it in its new spot. Done. One of the interesting things about this is this tray's plastic over here, and this tray over here is metal. You can just see it's kind of rusted out a little bit. I think that's the only rust I've really seen on this truck. That makes sense though. That thing's shaped like a bowl and it's going to hold all types of water. If you watch the build series, you'll find that I didn't want to cut anything on this truck or modify anything that couldn't be undone. Unfortunately, this one I can't undo. These cables were a little rough anyways, and putting new ends on them is not going to hurt anything. Unfortunately, I can't really undo this unless I got brand new stock replacement cables, which I don't even think they make those anymore. Now I'm a little worried if my butt connector will actually fit these. If it doesn't, I'm just going to have to run an entire new wire. So let's go ahead and cut this off. Next thing I got here is some 4-gauge butt connectors. And I honestly don't think they are going to work at all. But we'll see. Got that on there. Had to trim a couple strands off just to make sure I get that wire on. But if it fits, it ships, guys. That's the important thing, right? So we're going to grab this hydraulic crimp I have. Already has the 4-gauge jaws in it. Yes, I know the correct term is dies. Don't care. All I complain about this tool is it pumps super slow. That's what she said. Released. It should not go anywhere. Correct. Next step is I need to undo this negative cable. And it looks like we're sitting there with a ground, I'd say 10mm. The bummer about this is usually the ground to the headlight harness. I don't have one coming straight off the battery to it, but that should be fine as long as I get good grounds to everything else. Now I want to be clear that I know that this power wire just goes down to the starter, and I could have just went and unbolted it there, got a longer cable and ran it over. That sounds like it'd be too easy. Instead, I'd rather put a bunch of crimps in something that may or may not work. No, they're going to work just fine. Big thing is how the downpipe goes in with the crossover. The starter is not as easy to get to as it once was. If this doesn't work, I will run a new cable. However, this is how I'm going to do it right now. I am, however, going to unbolt this ground cable that goes to the block and then move it over to the driver's side. And I'm not sure if I can get a very good picture of it through all here, but right in here is where this ground cable goes. I think that's 9/16, but I am not positive. Yep. Well, this is already a problem. I'm trying to just unscrew the stud, but the jam nut that locks the cable in is spinning with the stud, and it will not turn out of there. Got one of these ultra thin wrenches. Ironically, this is a set of tools or set of wrenches that Gene gave me. Oh, that was tight. The stud itself wasn't tight in the block, but I think I broke it loose. Success! Sorry guys, I know it's hard to see, but there's a P-clamp down here that holds the loom I gotta loosen up. Really, I should be able to take this bulky wiring loom out of here. And there we go. Negative cable is out. We'll clean up the ends. We'll start putting it on the other side. So back over here on the driver's side, trying to figure out where we're gonna put our ground cable. And I think we're gonna choose this stud. If I can get this light position just right. And I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna choose a stud that is a power steering brace. You can kind of see it right there below the header. I think it's a 9/16 nut. And that's where we're gonna ground to, because that stud does go down into the block. So we can run this all pretty here. So much cable, I think we're gonna run it around the front of this emissions box. Yeah, that works out much better. I think what I'm gonna do is get a pair of pliers and bend this at a 90, because the way it's gonna be oriented now, it's gonna go right into the header. Ground is on. Well, now the ground's officially done, and now I just need to go find some 4-gauge wire to go ahead and see if I can extend this. I think I'm gonna need about 4 feet, 5 feet. I'm gonna bring it underneath the fan shroud. That way I can kind of get rid of everything that was on top of the radiator. Now, I have a problem of hoarding battery cable. I'm not necessarily sure if it's a problem. Well, that one's not gonna work. That's 1 gauge. Let's see what else I got. Found some stuff that'll work. I gotta be honest with you, after finding that, it's tempting just to run a whole new power cable. I'll cut the end off of one of these and we'll just run it across. The whole reason why I didn't want to run a new cable is because I didn't want to get on the floor. But here I am. I hate to say that I'm doing it the easy way just because I'm lazy, but I'm doing it the easy way because I'm lazy. Oh, you know what I forgot? Shrink tube. I'm happy with that. Said we'll stick a piece of loom over it when it's up here, but first we're gonna go ahead and pull it down, take the slack out of this cable. The next thing we gotta take care of is this wire here that ran to the fuse box. So it came across the radiator shroud, hooked up to the battery, and then that was it. So now we just gotta take this loom off, shorten it up, and hook it up to the power. And I'm really trying to get everything away from this radiator shroud because I picked up a set of electric fans for it, and the plan is to put them on someday. And I say someday. I mean, I don't know when that'll be, because with this thing, I was planning on running this power line, I don't know, all summer. And the sad part is we're gonna have it done in about 45 minutes. We'll keep that, we'll add it to the stash. So both those are done. Now I just need to find a 3/8 bolt that's short enough to do that one right there. I just happened to have an extra battery bolt from the last project. Got some things tidied up here. Ran my main power wire and some loom. You can see it coming through there. Also ran that conduit and tidied it up on the bottom of the radiator support, so you can kind of see where I've zip tied it to the bottom. Now these aren't normal zip ties, they're actually push clips. This is exactly what they are right here. Obviously this one's been used, but it just comes around here, bends and puts in the tab, and zip ties, and you have that little circle. Now I know there's something missing here. And clearly, the old battery box is out. And it's going back in. I had to take it out. There was no way I was gonna leave that rusty thing in there. Ground down the rust, put some converter on it, and gave it a quick old spray paint. But enough of all that little stuff. Let's get to the real reason why we did all this work. All for this filter. Now I just went into town and got a filter from the parts store. I don't even know why I'm putting this on right now. I'm gonna have to take it back out to put that battery tray back in. But sometimes I just can't wait to do things. Huh. Oh, the perfect size in there. Yeah. And that's a little scary because I put this thing together with confidence. I never even tested it. So I guess we're gonna be prepared to take the entire thing back apart. You know, I was thinking everyone has their cool startup phrase whenever they're starting vehicles for the first time after they work on them. Mine just turns out to be, please start. Good news, it starts and runs. And that wasn't really all that bad. So I have some plans for this empty space over here, and I'm exactly not sure how it's gonna work, but I want to put a tank here that's going to hold some, well, we'll just say it'll hold some colder water. There we go, another thing crossed off the list for Project Gene. If you like following along with this Turbo 305 build, hit the subscribe. I got a couple more videos coming out on it. The next one should cover installing a good catch can setup for it because I have nothing hooked up to the breathers on this right now. So follow along. Thanks for watching.